Hello everyone, welcome to the channel 2025 year in review. Figured I'd get this out early since I have a little bit of a gap at the moment, and also wanted to comment on some of the questions that have been popping up regarding Astra Malorum, regarding videos in general. So I figured we'd get this moving. So 2025, in terms of the channel, very successful year. We had 18 video uploads, 12 short uploads. I'm just doing YouTube statistics this time. Views were up, watch hours were up, subscribers were way up, even with the reduced output here. In terms of hitting my goals from last year, all Black Ops 4 Easter egg guides videos came out. Sans classified around 150, but that's not happening because it's unreasonable. All Infinite Warfare videos came out, except for Mephistopheles, because that is incredibly time-consuming, difficult, and unreasonable. And those videos, frankly, it's just, trying to find the balance between time spent on something, having that be worth it, and, taking that chunk out of different parts of my life in order to dedicate the time to those things. And just in those cases, it just didn't come naturally, and it's very time consuming trying to get these things correct. So they've been on the back burner since their relative game completions. But in terms of, everything coming in, analytics and whatnot, even with the reduced content and kind of just mainly focusing on the Easter egg guides, metrics are all looking quite healthy. We did not quite get 10,000 or even 9,000 subscribers, but that's fine. That's not a big deal. Just was something I was looking forward to. Best content performing. Still, the big two are Horizon Rock and Origins guides. Over 100,000 views in the year alone. I think Horizon Rock just hit 200K overall. Origins, I think, is in the 190s. So those are definitely pushing. And then also Zombies in Spaceland seems to have a pretty strong following as well. I realized revenue is also on this page, so a bit of a spoiler. But I did this last year, wanted to continue doing it. So for channel my size, about 9,000 subscribers, this kind of view count. YouTube did incredibly well this year. The YouTube payout, in order to receive your payout for a month, is $100. That's the threshold. And starting in the back half of the year, was consistently hitting that $100 threshold. So YouTube was up to $1,939 in video revenue. That's purely video revenue. I did enable memberships, and I just have those at $1 subscription monthly. Those have probably made $20. I didn't include it on here because frankly I forgot. But that's about where we're at. My RPM isn't great. I will have to double check because I think I've disabled some advertising categories which are lucrative but are a little bit immoral. So that's why maybe RPM is a little lower than some others. And then TikTok metrics were way down. TikTok has not grown very much. I think, what I do on YouTube versus what I started doing on TikTok are two very different things. And it just requires such a steadier stream of output in order to truly grow. I crossed out and updated the number here because if I go past year at the moment, it's including December 2024. So just wanted to be accurate. So yeah, YouTube going very well. Definitely not any life-changing money or income or anything that's gonna modify my job or living situation, but that's very nice to have $2,000 of fun money or money to put back into YouTube, which I've done this year with got a updated graphics card, which actually unlocked AV1 encoding for me, which makes video compression and file sizes much less, makes the upload process a lot better. And I didn't even realize that. I just got the graphics card and it had it. So that was a fantastic discovery, and a very, very worthwhile investment. But yeah, like using this to fund the Discord and have like the Nitro perks and whatnot, kind of just funneling it all back into itself. So yeah, in the grand scheme of things have gone very well. In 2025, for the content, I don't really have a plan. There's a couple things that I want to talk about. First, Astra Malorum. I did complete Astra Malorum the Sunday after its Thursday release. Early Sunday. And, hi cat, can you move? And I was starting to write a little bit, and then it was theorized and announced that there would be a nerf to the Frenzied Guard Wonder Weapon strategy. And that was annoying because, okay, now we're changing this in post to make it harder. Right, we're making the boss fight harder. And so I'd have to re-record. I have probably 12 hours of footage of me getting to boss fights and failing. 12 hours. Because of, trying different strats and trying different iterations and trying to make this easy. But the design of the last phase, where there is no room to breathe, you are one person, there is no cheese, there's no way to have speed, you cannot, you do not get another self-revive kit. It was driving me crazy. It was driving me crazy because I'm spending an hour and a half doing these runs because of the sheer amount of prep to get to the highest level, right? While not using gobblegums, and just to go to a boss fight, get my ass beat over and over and over again. It was just infuriating. It was just awful. Cat, that's my thumb. Let's not bite that. And I crashed out. So I don't know when that guide is going to come. Also, I've just been incredibly busy with work, added responsibility there. Another side project that I'm working on that requires moderately serious focus and development. So right. If I spend 6 hours working on the video, but I get the footage, it's great. If I spend 6 hours working on the video and I don't get the footage, it's awful. And, when you have that kind of volatility in something, I've been trying, that's why I, wait a couple days, wait a little bit of time in order to let other people figure out and distribute strategies, because I want to make sure that when I'm recording footage, I am as efficient as possible. Because I don't want to detract from my job or my family or exercise or any other things that are going on. So that's the status of Astra Malorum, is that it's up in the air until I feel a little better. I have a strat or two that I want to try out that I think could be viable. It's just they require a lot of prep. And then also I was going through and I was writing. And I'm like, I don't want to write. I don't want to edit this video. So, thankfully now we're past the bulk of the holidays. My work stuff is about to wrap this iteration. But now we'll get into that, where I'm taking added responsibility on at work. Obviously, that's my job. Very serious. And I'm low-key being floated for promotional aspirations and added responsibility and other things and other time-consuming things. And I'm I just have more on the plate. And it's right. And as with any added responsibility, right, there's going to be waves of you're good at it and it doesn't take up time, and you're learning it and it's taking up more time. So I'm kind of going through that wave of it's taking up more time because I'm getting used to these added responsibilities. I'm getting more efficient. And it's just eating into YouTube time. And it has to eat into YouTube time because I'm not going to let it eat into family time. That's already been like, I've worked on that and struggled with that and tried to make sure that, right, there are lines that I don't want YouTube creation to cross. And we're going to keep those lines firm. Right? Because don't want that, like, there's so many, not to say like horror stories, but there are so many like stories or tales of just like incredible stress and like creators like living relatively like lonely or isolated lives because of how much the intense focus that they put into these things. So I do not want it to get to that point. So just with that, output in general, like I tried a couple different series. I tried the Zombies Office Hours. They were positively received, not like big pop-up stuff, and I only did like 2, maybe 3. So I totally get it. But also in terms of additional content, I think TikTok for me at least is an afterthought right now. And as far as YouTube goes, we are just looking at Easter egg guides right now. It's just going to be Black Ops 7 as it comes out. Maybe if there's the free time and the downtime, might go back and do some historic ones. I don't know if I'll bother with Mephistopheles, because the other problem is that like I want to do these videos my way, right? I want to do no gobblegums, no paid like limited access items, all of that stuff. And if I'm not able to create the video that I want, then my drive to do it is just much less. Much, much reduced. So I'm interested in continuing to produce Black Ops 7 Easter egg guides. I'm less interested if I feel like I have to resort to very extra, like weapon prestiges and epic and legendary gobblegum and like all of these extra thresholds, because the point was making these videos and these maps as approachable as possible. And if the map itself is not approachable, then it's really hard to do that. I'm going to leave a little bit at the end here for a little Black Ops 7 rant. Hey, the maps themselves, very cool. Very much enjoyed the themes, very much enjoying like this overarching story of people getting their souls back. Really enjoying the villains, the characters, the voiceover, the actual comment and dialogues about the story, enjoying the villains. But the jump from the main quest being done to the boss fight requirement is significantly too much. Astra Malorum is not a hard Easter egg at all. It is not hard. The hardest part is probably acquiring the wonder weapon, just because you have relatively little power. And like it's kind of time consuming and you can maybe mess it up. But the fact that I can complete the Easter egg with a green single pack-a-punch AR, but I need a legendary triple packed shotgun with Shatter Blast or dual pistols I've seen with Shatter Blast. The fact that there's this massive jump from the and the wonder weapon now is like borderline useless, which I loved. Ashes of the Damned had a very strong wonder weapon that was viable and that was worth leveling up. But you take the end of the Astra Malorum main quest and the start of the boss fight, and the gap is like 30 minutes of grinding if you don't have gobblegums to skip ahead. And like in a lot of my videos, I got lucky with TED Tasks in order to like get a free pack too. And that's like getting fortunate. So it has become, it was a little bit apparent in Ashes of the Damned, especially with that boss fight being like super hard, but these are just not. And the problem isn't, okay, Astra Malorum, the problem's the boss fight. It's just what it is. Ashes of the Damned is It's just they're not geared for a solo experience, and they are not geared towards having that smooth transition off of, the main quest. Take some incredibly difficult, like notorious maps that are like at least some of my favorites. Garad Crovy and Blood of the Dead. To complete Garad Crovy, you naturally ramp up. The hardest part is kind of the challenges. And then the boss fight is difficult, but it's not, you don't need to do additional prep once you complete the main quest to do the boss fight. Same with Blood of the Dead. Like, as you just progress through the challenges in Blood of the Dead, you're naturally pack-a-punching because you are out of money, or like out of things to spend on, and you're just going to keep leveling, and then the boss fight isn't crazy. There's not this, the problem is the disconnect between the end of the main quest and the boss fight. And we saw that a little bit in Black Ops 6. A little bit. But this has just taken it to the next level. And that's incredibly frustrating, both from a content creation perspective and also just doing it. So I've rambled on a lot. So I'm going to stop now. Thank you for tuning in. If you've been here this year, if you've been in the Discord, if you joined as a member, if you have any, advice, requests, anything that you want to contribute towards the channel, feel free to drop it down below in comments. You can message me. You can drop it in the Discord. I think I may put out a post here for a little Q&A just because I want to do it. I think that would be fun. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. The animals appreciate it. And I'll see you in 2026.